Guys, deluded. You choose Lucas Torreira. I'm back again. Thank you for having me, man. Love for all the positive messages I see from you guys all the time, each and every time, man. It means a lot. Sometimes when I can't be asked to post and things like that, I don't know if it's God sending me messages, but via Instagram, Snap, all these things I see you guys positive messages and it keeps me going and them things. But back to business and what's actually relevant. Josh De Silva, specifically to Arsenal fans, we know typically a lot of footballers seem to be De Silvas nowadays, but our Josh De Silva, it's funny how time goes, man. He's 19 years of age, approaching 20, I believe, in October. I could be wrong. Obviously, again, it's not, you don't need to be the be all and end all of a player, but it's time where you start needing to play senior football and you start needing to make inroads into senior football, make a name for yourself in senior football versus youth record, because everybody's good at youth level, everybody's a baller at youth level and things like that. Typically, Josh De Silva, because we've of definitely of maybe now because a lot of people have left, but there's still Emil Smith and a couple. Previously years, there's been Willock, there's been Dan Crowley, there's been Gnabry, there's been Jeff, there's been collective a lot of talents you guys know in it. Benacia, Vlad Dragomir, there's been a lot. One player that I've said this before, he's often gone under the radar. He's played a whole bunch of positions. I mean, left back is one that he probably could probably become in the future. Personally, I see him as a midfielder at some level, at some club. If not here, I'd like it to be here. He's played up front previously. He's got a lot about him. For me, first and foremost, he probably won't take too many free kicks, but I definitely have seen him strike enough free kicks enough to know he's a confident taker of that. A wonder of a left foot. He's got a lot of good technical abilities. He's got a good passing range. He's very strong. His balance is good. I wouldn't necessarily say he's skillful, but he's one of them. He can do little flicks and little smart skills to evade people. In fact, he is skillful. I've seen him do Rabona and all them things at times. He has got a lot of flavour about him. Physically strong. One criticism would be, I don't know if it makes sense, but I do consider him a bit too humble on the football pitch. It's like, for a man with all disabilities, he's a bit too humble. I want to see a bit more, I want to say aggression because he shows that, but a bit more of a bravado. He's someone that's very good, approaching 20 years of age, so he needs to play football. He done his thing last year for the under-23s, made a decent amount of appearances as they won the league and obviously got to the final of the tournament. Obviously, he was on the bench in the Europa League against, I believe, Bay and Red Star. I'm so sure he played against Norwich. Wenger rated him highly. If you remember 2015 against Sheffield Wednesday, I can't remember if he made his debut then, but he definitely came off the bench. He was definitely on the bench. So he's someone that's rated fairly at the club. His problem is central midfield. There's a lot of midfielders, generally speaking, at this club. As you can see at first team level, he actually can play a bunch of midfield roles, but obviously you need to define yourself as one. Even away from the seasoned pros, if we just look at the young ones, Joe Willock seems to be ahead of him in the pecking order on the basis that I don't know whether it was because he'd never signed his contract in time or whatever, but he's really with the under-23s while Joe Willock's gone on tour and all of them things and somewhat involved in first team matters, even though he played in a recent friendly for the under-23s. So he's ahead of him in the pecking order. Although I do believe Josh could have done with some of the chances Willock's got. He's ahead of him in the pecking order. So if he goes on loan to Birmingham, as been said, he goes under Gary Monk, who's played Koi when asked about Josh De Silva arriving in a loan capacity. Don't be surprised if it somehow ends up permanently. So yeah, allegedly he's had his medical already or spent a week in Birmingham. It's not official news, but it'll be a good move for him. Championship. He'll have to deal with fans that want to win stuff, deal with fans with high expectations. The club obviously have their own ambitions, whether that's promotion or whatever. He'll have to deal with that. Specifically to him, like I said, consistency, because if he has a good game, great. He now needs to do it the next week. If he has a bad game, he has to quickly get that out of his mind and move forward. He's got a good pedigree, having and also being an under-20 England youth international, winning the under-19s European Championship with England. So yeah, man, he's made some strides, but he's at that period where the next couple of years are decisive. Like I said, he's going to be 20 in October, so he needs to play football and make some progress and consider his future in the next few years at this club if he's not making his debut. If I'm Josh De Silva and Ben Chafe, to an example, I'd be happy for Joe Willock, but if I look at the chances afforded to Joe Willock, if I didn't believe I could take advantage of the chances into a similar degree, or if not better, I'd probably consider going out on loan and things like that. I know Shafe's seen as a centre half at this club, but you get what I'm saying. And a bit of that could apply to Zelalem. But allegedly he's joining Birmingham on a season-long loan. Hopefully it's not permanent, like I said, season-long loan. Hopefully he does all right. Obviously the goal there immediately if he wants to come back to Arsenal is to put in good performances, put himself in in the eye of the manager to come back and believe in him, or go out on loan and repeat the same process. But yeah, allegedly he could be going on loan, and it's not been made official yet, but it's seeming to pick up traction if you just go on social media or type his name in Google or whatever. So yeah, Birmingham would be a good move for him away from academy football. So yeah, man, guys, deluded, get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. Thank you very much for watching. I'm out.